Want to speak real Hebrew from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at HebrewPod101.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. Today, we'll learn conversational phrases about occupations. After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your job and ask what somebody does for a living. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your occupation PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
במה אתה עובד?
אני אמן.
Listen to it again, now with the English translation.
במה אתה עובד?
What do you do?
אני אמן.
I'm an artist. First of all, you need to learn how to say, what do you do? That's.
במה אתה עובד?
Listen to it again.
במה אתה עובד?
This Hebrew sentence literally translates into, in what do you work? But it means, what do you do in English? Now, how do you answer this question? This is the pattern you'll need.
אני
Your occupation. I'm an, your occupation. For example, I'm an artist.
אני אמן. אני אמן.
Here are a few more professions you can use with the same pattern. Police officer,
שוטר. שוטר.
שוטרת. שוטרת.
teacher,
מורה. מורה.
מורה. מורה.
doctor,
רופא. רופא.
רופאה. רופאה.
engineer,
מהנדס. מהנדס.
מהנדסת. מהנדסת.
Now, listen to some examples.
במה אתה עובד?
אני מורה.
במה אתה עובד?
אני רופא.
במה אתה עובד?
אני מהנדס.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what do you do?
במה אתה עובד?
Imagine you're a doctor. Do you remember how to say, doctor?
רופא. רופא.
Say, I'm a doctor.
אני רופא.
Now answer the question saying that you are a doctor.
במה אתה עובד?
אני רופא.
Now, imagine you're a teacher. Do you remember how to say teacher?
מורה. מורה.
Say, I'm a teacher.
אני מורה.
Now, answer the question saying that you are a teacher.
במה אתה עובד?
אני מורה.
Now, imagine you're an engineer. Do you remember how to say engineer?
מהנדס. מהנדס.
Say, I'm an engineer.
אני מהנדס.
Now, answer the question saying that you are an engineer.
במה אתה עובד?
אני מהנדס.
Most people who learn a foreign language learn it so that they can one day have real-life conversations with native speakers. When you start out learning and crack open your first textbook or listen to your first podcast, having a real conversation can feel like a fantasy. When everything about a language feels new, it can be overwhelming. But this couldn't be further from the truth. While it does take a significant amount of time and effort to become fluent, having a conversation might not be as far off as you think. In this video, we'll look at 3 ways you can boost your conversational skills and start talking to native speakers. Number 1, find native speakers and practice with them. It's unlikely you live near a big group of native speakers to practice with. If you happen to be in a major or international city, your chances may be better. Check and see if your city has a general language exchange. Chances are there could be a native speaker there who is also trying to learn another language. Practicing in person with a native speaker is probably the most interesting option for honing your speaking skills. But if you can't find anyone where you live, the next best option is to look online. Luckily for language learners, the past 10 years or so have seen an explosion in online language exchange sites. On these websites, you can search for someone who is a native speaker of your target language and is also learning your native language. The idea behind a language exchange is that you communicate with them via video or text chat, and half of the time, they help you practice your target language. And for the other half, you help them practice theirs. Practicing via an online language exchange is a highly effective way to practice your conversational skills. Number 2, work on pronunciation. Pronunciation is often an overlooked skill when it comes to learning a foreign language. Most people think of a good foreign accent as a luxury rather than a necessity. But what most people don't talk about is how having a good accent boosts your listening and comprehension skills. If you can hear a sound from a foreign language and know how to make it yourself, then you're more likely to understand native speakers when they talk at normal speed, and you're also more likely to remember any new words or phrases you come across. Having a good accent means that the language no longer sounds foreign. Instead, it sounds familiar, maybe even natural. So how do you go about perfecting your accent? The best way is to break down the language into its individual sounds. Make note of any sounds that are the same or similar to your native language and of those that are different. Of the sounds that are different, spend your time practicing the ones that you find the hardest to say correctly. After you're comfortable with the individual sounds, you can start linking together words and phrases. This is where accent practice starts to get really fun and interesting. Get your hands on some native speaker audio from a TV show, song, or podcast. Play the audio back and listen closely a few times. Take note of how words blend together in speech. Then, do your best to imitate what you hear, trying to match the speaker's emphasis and intonation. Our language learning program's playback feature is perfect for this. Record yourself and compare it to the original recording. Rinse and repeat until you're comfortable with the audio selection, and then move on to something more difficult. This is how you can break through the accent barrier and really start to make the language your own. Number 3, learn phrases, not just individual words. Learning grammar and individual words is great, but it's not the only approach you should take if you want to speak fluently. In addition to your regular grammar and vocabulary, try learning whole phrases, even if you aren't totally sure how they work grammatically. Learn phrases that are specific to your needs. It's a good idea to learn phrases that are grouped around a certain setting or subject, such as simple greetings or introductions, questions for getting to know someone, or traveling comfortably. You can even learn filler phrases, which you can use so that you have something to say when, well, you don't know what to say. Learning phrases like this will help you become conversational faster. You may not understand what you're saying literally, but as long as you know the general meaning behind the phrase and know when to use it, you'll be able to talk like a native. Eventually, your knowledge of grammar and vocabulary should catch up with the phrases you know. Learning a new language should feel like an adventure. There will be plateaus and periods in your learning where it feels like you're hitting a wall, but being able to speak with native speakers and have real conversations will help you combat language fatigue. After all, talking to someone face-to-face in a foreign language is one of the main reasons we start learning in the first place. And for even more ways to gain conversation skills, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, how's your mother? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about well-being and ask how someone is doing. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Conversation About Family Well-Being PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
מה שלום אמא שלך?
שלומה טוב.
Once more with the English translation.
מה שלום אמא שלך?
How's your mother?
שלומה טוב.
She's fine. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, how's your mother? That's,
מה שלום אמא שלך?
listen to it again.
מה שלום אמא שלך? מה שלום אמא שלך?
This Hebrew sentence literally means, what is the well-being of your mother? But it translates as, how's your mother, in English. Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is,
שלומה.
state of well-being. This Hebrew sentence literally means, her well-being is, state of well-being. But it translates as, she is state of well-being, in English. For example, she's fine.
שלומה טוב. שלומה טוב.
Here are a few expressions related to well-being that you can use with this pattern. Great,
מצוין. מצוין.
fine,
טוב. טוב.
so-so,
ככה ככה. ככה ככה.
not good,
לא טוב. לא טוב.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
מה שלום אמא שלך? שלומה מצוין. מה שלום אמא שלך? שלומה ככה ככה. מה שלום אמא שלך? שלומה לא טוב.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, how's your mother?
מה שלום אמא שלך?
Imagine she's great. Do you remember how to say, great?
מצוין. מצוין.
Say, she's great.
שלומה מצוין.
Now, answer the question saying she's great.
מה שלום אמא שלך? שלומה מצוין.
Now imagine she's so-so. Do you remember how to say so-so?
ככה ככה. ככה ככה.
Say, she's so-so.
שלומה ככה ככה.
Now, answer the question saying she's so-so.
מה שלום אמא שלך? שלומה ככה ככה.
Now imagine she's not good. Do you remember how to say not good?
לא טוב. לא טוב.
Say, she's not good.
שלומה לא טוב.
Now, answer the question saying she's not good.
מה שלום אמא שלך? שלומה לא טוב.
You've studied for a while and are ready to talk to people and practice what you've learned. But where do you start? Starting a conversation in a new language can seem a bit intimidating. How do you just jump into it? In this video, we'll look at 5 ways to start conversations. Number 1, introduce yourself in your target language. This is usually one of the first things you learn when you start studying a new language. And sometimes, starting a conversation, or continuing one, is as simple as introducing yourself. Number 2, talking about the weather. This is a universal talking point. People talk about the weather all over the world. And just saying, "It's really nice today," is enough to start a conversation. A great way to practice your weather conversation skills is to check out our Can-Do lesson pathway. This series of lessons teaches you how to talk about the weather in your target language. Number 3, give compliments. Compliments are a great way to start a conversation. You can compliment something about your conversation partner's city, country, or something specific to them personally. "Hey, your bag is super cute," or "That ice cream looks delicious." These kinds of compliments can lead to further conversation about what you complimented. In this case, it could be fashion or a local restaurant. This is a great way to make quick connections with people. Number 4, ask for help. For example, you can ask for directions, ask about prices, or request recommendations for restaurants or shopping spots, and let the conversation go from there. People are usually happy to lend a helping hand to tourists who are visiting their city. Number 5, learn phrases for transactions. This can include getting a room at a hotel or telling a taxi driver where to go. When you're traveling overseas, you'll need to talk to other people in your target language. And while this might be a bit scary at first, you'll find that the people you meet are just happy that you're trying to communicate with them. So get started talking in your target language now. For even more tips on how to start conversations, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, "What's the matter?" After watching this video, you'll be able to make complaints and ask someone else if they're having any issues. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making Complaints PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
הכל בסדר?
המשרד חם.
Once more with the English translation.
הכל בסדר?
What's the matter?
המשרד חם.
The office is hot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, "What's the matter?" That's,
הכל בסדר?
listen to it again.
הכל בסדר? הכל בסדר?
This Hebrew sentence literally translates into, "Is everything okay?" But it means, "What's the matter?" in English. Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
המשרד.
adjective. The office is adjective. For example, the office is hot.
המשרד חם. המשרד חם.
Here are a few more examples you can use with the same pattern to make complaints. Hot,
חם. חם.
cold,
קר. קר.
noisy,
רועש. רועש.
dirty,
מלוכלך. מלוכלך.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
הכל בסדר? המשרד קר. הכל בסדר? המשרד רועש. הכל בסדר? המשרד מלוכלך.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "What's the matter?"
הכל בסדר?
Imagine the office is cold. Do you remember how to say cold?
קר. קר.
Say, the office is cold.
המשרד קר.
Now answer the question saying the office is cold.
הכל בסדר? המשרד קר.
Now imagine the office is noisy. Do you remember how to say noisy?
רועש. רועש.
Say, the office is noisy.
המשרד רועש.
Now, answer the question saying the office is noisy.
הכל בסדר? המשרד רועש.
Now imagine the office is dirty. Do you remember how to say dirty?
מלוכלך. מלוכלך.
Say, the office is dirty.
המשרד מלוכלך.
Now answer the question, saying the office is dirty.
הכל בסדר? המשרד מלוכלך.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to ask and answer the question, how do you say this? After watching this video, you'll be able to ask someone how a word is pronounced. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your How to Say Something PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא חניון.
Once more with the English translation.
איך אומרים את זה?
How do you say this?
זה נקרא חניון.
It's parking lot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, how do you say this? That's,
איך אומרים את זה?
listen to it again.
איך אומרים את זה? איך אומרים את זה?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
זה נקרא.
word. This Hebrew sentence literally translates into, it is called word. But it means it's word in English. For example, it's parking lot.
זה נקרא חניון. זה נקרא חניון.
Here are a few useful words you can use with the same pattern. Parking lot,
חניון. חניון.
morning,
בוקר. בוקר.
travel,
נסיעה. נסיעה.
invasion,
פלישה. פלישה.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא בוקר.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא נסיעה.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא פלישה.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, how do you say this?
איך אומרים את זה?
Now, imagine it's the word morning. Do you remember how to say morning?
בוקר. בוקר.
Say, it's morning.
זה נקרא בוקר.
Now, answer the question saying it's morning.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא בוקר.
Now imagine the word is travel. Do you remember how to say travel?
נסיעה. נסיעה.
Say, it's travel.
זה נקרא נסיעה.
Now, answer the question saying it's travel.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא נסיעה.
Now imagine the word is invasion. Do you remember how to say invasion?
פלישה. פלישה.
Say, it's invasion.
זה נקרא פלישה.
Now answer the question saying it's invasion.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא פלישה.
Want to speak real Hebrew from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at HebrewPod101.com.
Want to speak your target language with confidence and impress native speakers? When learning to speak a new language, you have lots of things to think about, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Because you're thinking of all of these things and trying to speak, it can be difficult to communicate with confidence, especially in the beginning. This is why it's helpful to make confidence-building exercises part of your language learning process. In this video, you'll learn 7 ways to boost your confidence. 1. Read out loud. This might seem pretty basic, but it's a great way to practice speaking. Reading aloud lets you practice speaking without having to think about grammar or things to talk about. Reading out loud lets you focus on your pronunciation and the rhythm of the language. It can help you learn to speak more smoothly and quickly, without even thinking about it. If you're using our lessons, read the dialogue out loud as you listen. You can read along with the dialogue tool, the lesson notes, or the transcript. 2. Read like a child. This might sound strange, but think about children learning to read. They go slow and sound everything out. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 tries before they read a new word smoothly, and a few more tries before they can read it at a natural pace. This example applies to language learning too. If you find a complex sentence in something you're reading, read it slowly at first, then speed up. With practice, you'll be able to say it easily. It might feel a bit silly to speak very slowly, but this kind of practice can help you identify tough sounds you might miss or say incorrectly when reading quickly. 3. Use the dialogue breakdown tool. If you're using our site, this is a great tool to take advantage of. It breaks down lesson conversations into individual lines. You can listen to the audio for each line, learn what each line means, and can reread and review as much as you want. 4. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. Just click on the microphone icon next to each line in the dialogue section. You can use this tool to perfect your pronunciation if you like, but this is also something you can use to work on speaking with confidence at native level speed. You'll find this tool in the dialogue section of all of our lessons. 5. Repeat and review old lesson conversations. Reviewing what you've studied in the past is the best way to make sure you maintain what you've learned. Go back to older lessons, download the lesson dialogue tracks, and re-listen to the conversations again and again. Or you can reread the dialogue lines from previous lessons until you've mastered them all. 6. Shadow conversations. Repeat what you hear out loud. This tactic is important, but it can be tricky when you're doing a brand new lesson. If you're reviewing dialogues from lessons you've done though, it's super easy to do. Just listen to the dialogue and repeat what you hear. Shadowing means mimicking the speaker as soon as they speak, following their intonation and rhythms as closely as possible. 7. Send recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. If you want to speak with confidence, there's no better confidence boost than feedback from a native speaker, and you get just that with a Premium Plus teacher. You can record yourself reciting a lesson dialogue or any dialogue of your own, and your teacher will give you specific tips on how to improve. From the tips your teacher gives you, choose at least one and practice, practice, practice. Being able to react quickly and with confidence in a conversation is typically not something you can do on your first try, but if you continue practicing, you'll gradually find yourself speaking with ease. And for even more ways to build your speaking confidence, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what's your favorite number? After watching this video, you'll be able to say many numbers and ask someone their favorite number. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Talking About Numbers PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 7.
Once more with the English translation.
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר?
What's your favorite number?
המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 7.
It's 7. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what's your favorite number? That's
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר?
listen to it again.
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא
number. This Hebrew sentence literally translates into, my favorite number is number. But it means, it's number. For example, it's 7.
המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 7. המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 7.
Here are a few more numbers you can use with the same pattern. 7,
7. 7.
2,
2. 2.
4,
4. 4.
9,
9. 9.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 2. מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 4. מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 9.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what's your favorite number?
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר?
Imagine it's 2. Do you remember how to say 2?
2. 2.
Say, it's 2.
המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 2.
Now answer the question saying, it's 2.
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 2.
Now imagine it's 4. Do you remember how to say 4?
4. 4.
Say, it's 4.
המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 4.
Now, answer the question by saying, it's 4.
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 4.
Now, imagine it's 9. Do you remember how to say 9?
9. 9.
Say, it's 9.
המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 9.
Now, answer the question saying, it's 9.
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 9.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what kind of movies do you like? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about movies and ask other people about their favorite kinds of movies. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Talking About Movies and TV PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
איזה סוג של סרטים את אוהבת?
אני אוהבת סרטי אימה.
Once more with the English translation.
איזה סוג של סרטים את אוהבת?
What kind of movies do you like?
אני אוהבת סרטי אימה.
I like horror. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what kind of movies do you like? That's
איזה סוג של סרטים את אוהבת?
listen to it again.
איזה סוג של סרטים את אוהבת? איזה סוג של סרטים את אוהבת?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
אני אוהבת סרטי.
type of movie. I like type of movie. For example, I like horror.
אני אוהבת סרטי אימה. אני אוהבת סרטי אימה.
Here are a few more kinds of movies you can use with the same pattern to talk about movies. Horror,
אימה. אימה.
comedy,
קומדיה. קומדיה.
fantasy,
פנטזיה. פנטזיה.
romance,
דרמה. דרמה.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
איזה סוג של סרטים את אוהבת?
אני אוהבת סרטי קומדיה.
איזה סוג של סרטים את אוהבת?
אני אוהבת סרטי פנטזיה.
איזה סוג של סרטים את אוהבת?
אני אוהבת סרטי דרמה.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what kind of movies do you like?
איזה סוג של סרטים את אוהבת?
Imagine you like comedies. Do you remember how to say comedy?
קומדיה. קומדיה.
Say, I like comedy.
אני אוהבת סרטי קומדיה.
Now answer the question saying that you like comedies.
איזה סוג של סרטים את אוהבת?
אני אוהבת סרטי קומדיה.
Now imagine that you like fantasy movies. Do you remember how to say fantasy?
פנטזיה. פנטזיה.
Say, I like fantasy.
אני אוהבת סרטי פנטזיה.
Now, answer the question saying you like fantasy movies.
איזה סוג של סרטים את אוהבת?
אני אוהבת סרטי פנטזיה.
Now imagine you like romantic movies. Do you remember how to say romance?
דרמה. דרמה.
Say, I like romance.
אני אוהבת סרטי דרמה.
Now answer the question saying you like romantic movies.
איזה סוג של סרטים את אוהבת?
אני אוהבת סרטי דרמה.
Want to speak and understand more of your target language? If so, of course, you'll need to know more words and phrases than you do now. In this video, we'll cover 5 ways to master new words and phrases fast. Number 1, use our free vocabulary list. This is a free library of vocabulary and phrase lessons for all kinds of situations. You can learn words and phrases for current events, holidays like Halloween and Thanksgiving, and useful topics, like the top 10 ways to say hello, conversational phrases, and more. You'll learn phrases that you won't find in textbooks. If you want to learn extra fast, use the slideshow tool. Just tap or click on View Slideshow, then sit back and review the words and phrases. Find the vocabulary lists in the vocabulary drop-down menu on the site. These vocabulary lists are free for all users. Number 2, take the audio and video lessons. One of the best ways to learn new words is by hearing and using them in conversations. This is because it gives you the opportunity to understand how the words are actually used. In every lesson dialogue, you'll likely come across some words you don't know. But don't worry, because our teachers translate everything. When you hear the conversation again at the end of the lesson, you'll be familiar with the words you didn't know at first. Number 3, learn with our 2,000 most common words list. A quick question. How many words do you think you need for conversational fluency? 3,000? 5,000? It's actually not as many as you think. Language experts say you need about 1,500 words to reach conversational fluency. With our 2,000 most common words list, you'll get access to key vocabulary words you need to boost your conversation skills. The words are broken down into simple categories, such as adjectives, nouns, verbs, food, drinks, numbers, months, and so on, so you can go category by category and focus on what you're most interested in first. With this tip, we're not talking about paper flashcards. We're talking about the smart flashcards that you can find in our premium study tools. This is an automatic system individualized for each member based on their study needs. First, you'll use the cards to check your knowledge. Then, according to your answers, the cards will be sorted according to which words you need more practice with. Words that you struggle with will be shown to you more and more. You'll see words that you know well less often. This system helps you study more efficiently. It displays the words you need to work on and knows when you should refresh your knowledge. This helps make sure you don't forget vocabulary. In every study session, these cards will help you refresh your memory on the words you learned last time and introduce new words. Number 5, use the words. After you learn a new word, using it right away is crucial to remembering it. So, when you're done with a lesson or a vocab list, here's something you can do. Leave a comment. Make up a sample sentence and post it in the comment section. Write it down in a notebook, or shadow the word with a lessons dialogue. Our language learning program is full of tools that can help you speak more. Just pick one and get started. If you want to unlock all of these study tools, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what are you doing during the holiday? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your holiday plans. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your National Holidays PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
מה אתה עושה בראש השנה?
אני מתכנן לנסוע לחוף הים.
Once more with the English translation.
מה אתה עושה בראש השנה?
What are you doing for Rosh Hashanah?
אני מתכנן לנסוע לחוף הים.
I'm planning to go to the beach. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what are you doing for Rosh Hashanah? That's,
מה אתה עושה בראש השנה?
listen to it again.
מה אתה עושה בראש השנה? מה אתה עושה בראש השנה?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is,
אני מתכנן,
plan. I'm planning to plan. For example, I'm planning to go to the beach.
אני מתכנן לנסוע לחוף הים. אני מתכנן לנסוע לחוף הים.
Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk about your plans. Go to the beach.
לנסוע לחוף הים. לנסוע לחוף הים.
Travel.
לטייל. לטייל.
Stay home.
להישאר בבית. להישאר בבית.
Go to the movies.
ללכת לקולנוע. ללכת לקולנוע.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat, or speak along with the native speakers.
מה אתה עושה בראש השנה?
אני מתכנן לטייל.
מה אתה עושה בראש השנה?
אני מתכנן להישאר בבית.
מה אתה עושה בראש השנה?
אני מתכנן ללכת לקולנוע.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what are you doing for Rosh Hashanah?
מה אתה עושה בראש השנה?
Imagine you're planning to travel. Do you remember how to say, travel?
לטייל. לטייל.
Say, I'm planning to travel.
אני מתכנן לטייל.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to travel.
מה אתה עושה בראש השנה?
אני מתכנן לטייל.
Now, imagine you're planning to stay home. Do you remember how to say, stay home?
להישאר בבית. להישאר בבית.
Say, I'm planning to stay home.
אני מתכנן להישאר בבית.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to stay home.
מה אתה עושה בראש השנה?
אני מתכנן להישאר בבית.
Now imagine you're planning to go to the movies. Do you remember how to say, go to the movies?
ללכת לקולנוע. ללכת לקולנוע.
Say, I'm planning to go to the movies.
אני מתכנן ללכת לקולנוע.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to go to the movies.
מה אתה עושה בראש השנה?
אני מתכנן ללכת לקולנוע.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to use when talking on the phone. After watching this video, you'll be able to ask for someone on the phone and to put someone on hold. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making a Phone Call PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
שלום, אפשר לדבר עם האחראי?
כן, רק רגע.
Once more with the English translation.
שלום, אפשר לדבר עם האחראי?
Hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
כן, רק רגע.
Okay, just a moment. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say hello on the phone. That's
שלום, שלום,
Then you'll need to learn how to say, I'd like to speak with person. The pattern is
אפשר לדבר עם.
person. This Hebrew sentence literally translates as, Can I speak with person? But it means, I'd like to speak with person. For example, hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
שלום, אפשר לדבר עם האחראי? שלום, אפשר לדבר עם האחראי?
Now, how do you answer this question?
כן, רק רגע.
Okay, just a moment. Listen to it again.
כן, רק רגע. כן, רק רגע.
This Hebrew sentence literally translates as, yes, just a moment, but it means, okay, just a moment. Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk on the phone. The person in charge.
האחראי. האחראי.
A sales representative.
סוכן מכירות. סוכן מכירות.
The manager.
מנהל. מנהל.
Customer service.
שירות לקוחות. שירות לקוחות.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
אפשר לדבר עם סוכן מכירות?
כן, רק רגע.
אפשר לדבר עם המנהל?
כן, רק רגע.
אפשר לדבר עם שירות הלקוחות?
כן, רק רגע.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, I'd like to speak with person?
אפשר לדבר עם...
Person. And how do you answer it?
כן, רק רגע.
Imagine you want to talk to a sales representative. Do you remember how to say, a sales representative?
סוכן מכירות. סוכן מכירות.
Say, I'd like to speak with a sales representative.
אפשר לדבר עם סוכן מכירות?
Now say you want to talk to a sales representative and answer it.
אפשר לדבר עם סוכן מכירות?
כן, רק רגע.
Now, imagine you want to talk to the manager. Do you remember how to say, the manager?
מנהל. מנהל.
Say, I'd like to speak with the manager.
אפשר לדבר עם המנהל?
Now say you want to talk to the manager and answer it.
אפשר לדבר עם המנהל?
כן, רק רגע.
Now imagine you want to talk to customer service. Do you remember how to say customer service?
שירות לקוחות. שירות לקוחות.
Say, I'd like to speak with customer service.
אפשר לדבר עם שירות הלקוחות?
Now say you want to talk to customer service and answer it.
אפשר לדבר עם שירות הלקוחות?
כן, רק רגע.
When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, you can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the Dialogue Study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way, and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Top 10 phrases you'll need for a date. Also, I want to mention that I will speak as a woman inviting a man out. So all of those phrases will be addressed towards a male. Let's begin. רוצה לצאת איתי לארוחת ערב? Would you like to go out to dinner with me? רוצה לצאת איתי לארוחת ערב? Would you like to go out to dinner with me? Yeah, I think like dinner is a more mature kind of a date. I think it's either if you're more far along in your relationship, like maybe you're a bit more mature and you have more money, but most people maybe would just go out for like a coffee or a beer. רוצה לבלות יחד? Would you like to hang out with me? רוצה לבלות יחד? Would you like to hang out with me? I think this is like a very kind of a vague, obscure kind of a way to ask somebody to do something with you. Like, it's nice to hang out, but, be more specific. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to have frozen yogurt? Do you want to, like, buy a dress? Do you want to go to the movies? Like, don't be so vague. אתה כל כך חמוד. You're so cute. אתה כל כך חמוד. You're so cute. So in Hebrew, when we say the equivalent of cute, which is chamud, it's kind of like friend-zoning somebody, as a matter of fact. It's not like, cute, like he's handsome, like in English. It's just like saying cute to a dog. And there's also a saying a guy would say, call a dog cute. Like, I'm not cute, I'm a man. So if you're a woman and you're telling a guy he's cute, that's not a compliment. אתה נראה נהדר. You look great. אתה נראה נהדר. You look great. You know, sometimes like when you see your date, he just comes over and he really looks sharp. It's like, oh, you look great. Yeah. זה היה ערב נהדר. That was a great evening. זה היה ערב נהדר. That was a great evening. Don't say it if you just had like an okay kind of a time, because the word nehedar in Hebrew, it means actually like, you know, great, like fantastic. And if you really had a fantastic time and you're not trying to like play it cool and you really wanted him to know that you had a good time, then say that. But if you're trying to be cool, you know, say something maybe a bit more mild. אני אתקשר אליך. I'll call you. אני אתקשר אליך. I'll call you. Now guys, especially guys, don't say it if you don't mean it. Just say, it was great seeing you. Okay, bye. That's good enough. אני אסיע אותך הביתה. I'll drive you home. אני אסיע אותך הביתה. I'll drive you home. Not if you had drinks. If you had dinner, you know, a soft drink, then sure, you know, drive him home. Why not? Show him your driving skills. באיזו שעה אתה רוצה להיפגש מחר? What time shall we meet tomorrow? באיזו שעה אתה רוצה להיפגש מחר? What time shall we meet tomorrow? Again, this is like very useful when you said tomorrow, but you don't really know exactly when. Is it 7? Is it 8? Is it 8? Then just be more specific and ask him what time. רוצה להיפגש שוב? Can I see you again? רוצה להיפגש שוב? Can I see you again? Yeah, it's like a very direct thing to ask. I don't think I've ever asked it anybody. And you don't really have to. You just can like, yeah, okay, I'll call you, or, you know, or call me. If it's really important to you and, you know, you're not playing any games and you're all being like really straightforward and simple, then you might say, רוצה להיפגש שוב? Can I see you again? רוצה ללכת למקום אחר? Shall we go somewhere else? רוצה ללכת למקום אחר? Shall we go somewhere else? You know, if the bar is too loud, or, you know, maybe smelly from cigarettes, or maybe the restaurant you wanted to go to there's a bit of a line, and you're thinking, okay, let's not waste our time, and maybe you can find someplace that's more comfortable, then you'd ask that, like, שנלך למקום אחר?
Top Hebrew phrases. These are very useful phrases you're going to hear a lot when you come to Israel, so make sure to memorize them. Okay, let's start. Shalom. Hello. Shalom literally means peace, but we use it also as a greeting. Shalom. Ma nishma? How are you? That's a very casual way of asking how are you, and it literally means what is heard. Like, yeah, like what have you been up to? What's going on with you? Ma nishma? Toda. Thanks. And probably the only way to say it, we don't have like thanks or thank you, it's just toda. Bevakasha. Please. Bevakasha, it means please, but it can also mean there you go. So you can say, אפשר לקבל מים בבקשה? Can I have water, please? And when you give someone water, you can also say, בבקשה. There you go. סליחה. Excuse me. It means excuse me or sorry. So when you like push through people in the bus, you can go, סליחה, סליחה, סליחה. But when you step on someone on the bus, you can also say, אוי, סליחה, I'm sorry. להתראות. See you. It literally means to see each other again. So it's like, to see each other again. להתראות. It's also very casual. בסדר. Okay. This is a very, very useful word. You can say it when someone asks you, how are you? בסדר. You can say it to show you understand something. When someone gives you direction, you're like, בסדר. It literally means in order, like everything's in order. טוב. Fine. Most of the time it means fine. Literally it means good. A lot like בסדר. How are you? טוב. To respond to a direction, like, go that way, please. טוב. Fine, I understand. על לא דבר. You're welcome. We use it as you're welcome, and it literally means, oh, for nothing. Thank you. Oh, על לא דבר. It was nothing. It's maybe a bit more formal than בבקשה. Most of the times when people say תודה,
you answer בבקשה. You can also answer הלא דבר. It's pretty much the same, though בבקשה is a bit more common. בוקר טוב, good morning. בוקר טוב, which literally means good morning, and you obviously use it in the morning. בוקר טוב. לילה טוב, good night. So yeah, good night you can say when you leave a party at night, you can say, okay, bye, good night, לילה טוב. צהריים טובים, good afternoon. צהריים טובים, good afternoon. You can definitely say that, but you don't hear it that often. It literally means good noon. מה שמך? What's your name? For a male, it would be מה שמך. For a female, מה שמך? What is your name? You can also ask, איך קוראים לך? Which literally means how are you called? And this is the most common way to ask. נעים להכיר, nice to meet you. Literally, I guess it would mean pleasant. It is pleasant to meet you. And you can say נעים להכיר אותך for a woman, or נעים להכיר אותך for a man. איפה? Where? איפה התחנה? Where is the station? איפה is very important. You should memorize this one. אני מבין. I see. For a woman, it would be אני מבינה. I understand, I see. אני מבינה. מה השעה? What time is it? The literal translation would be what is the hour? This is how you ask. סליחה, מה השעה? Excuse me, what time is it? אפשר בבקשה לקבל? Can I please have? אפשר בבקשה לקבל מים? Can I please have some water? And this would be the same for a male speaker and for a female speaker. אפשר בבקשה לקבל? איפה השירותים? Where's the restroom? איפה השירותים? Where's the restroom? שירותים is restroom. איפה השירותים? Another one to memorize. אני מצטער. I am sorry. אני מצטער. Or for a female speaker, אני מצטערת. אני מצטערת להפריע. I'm sorry to interrupt. כן. Yes. You can use it in any way you use yes. Yeah, use it. Be positive. לא. No. I like this word. It has a fun sound, and it was my sister's first word. לא. No. בא לי. I feel like. בא לי. It's two words. בא לי. And it means I feel like, I want. And you can also use it as a negative. בא לי גלידה. I feel like ice cream. I want ice cream. לא בא לי ללכת לבית הספר. I don't feel like going to school. So it's very useful. Children use it a lot, but grown-ups use it too. די. Enough. Stop. It sounds really bad, but it's harmless. It means enough or stop. When someone is like bugging you, poking you, like, די. Stop it. Enough. Yeah. כמה זה עולה? How much is it? כמה זה עולה? How much is it? How much does it cost? מעולה. Awesome. Great. I guess maybe the Hebrew equivalent of the word awesome, it's מעולה. The masculine form is מעולה and the feminine is מעולה. Like, ההופעה הזאת מעולה. This show is awesome. It's great. איך היה הטיול? היה מעולה. How was the trip? It was מעולה. Great, awesome. 15 questions you should know. So, let's start. מאיפה אתה? Where are you from? מאיפה אתה? Where are you from? And if you want to ask a female, it's מאיפה את? אני מתל אביב. I am from Tel Aviv. בן כמה אתה? How old are you? בן כמה אתה? How old are you? For a female, it would be בת כמה את? I'm not gonna answer that one. מה שמך? What's your name? מה שמך? What is your name? For a female, מה שמך? A more common way of asking that would be איך קוראים לך? Or for a female, איך קוראים לך? Which literally mean how are you called? מה שלומך? How are you? מה שלומך? Or מה שלומך for a woman, and this is how are you? How do you feel? מה זה? What's this? מה זה? What is this? מה זה? Some people use it as what? Like, what did you say? מה זה? But most of the times it's used when you want to know what a thing is. Excuse me? מה זה? מה אמרת? What did you say? מה אמרת? What did you say? And for a female, מה אמרת? לא אמרתי כלום. I didn't say anything. איפה אתה עובד? Where do you work? איפה אתה עובד? Where do you work? And for a female, איפה את עובדת? איפה השירותים? Where is the bathroom? Memorize this one. איפה השירותים? Where is the bathroom? Excuse me. איפה השירותים? איפה אתה גר? Where do you live? איפה אתה גר? Where do you live? Or for a female, איפה את גרה? מתי יום ההולדת שלך? When is your birthday? מתי יום ההולדת שלך? When is your birthday? For a female, מתי יום ההולדת שלך? כמה זמן אתה לומד עברית? How long have you been studying Hebrew? כמה זמן אתה לומד עברית? How long have you been studying Hebrew? For a female, כמה זמן את לומדת עברית? איפה למדת עברית? Where did you learn Hebrew? איפה למדת עברית? Where did you study Hebrew? Or for a female, איפה למדת עברית? That's an easy question. HebrewPod101.com. היית בישראל? Have you been to Israel? היית בישראל? Have you been to Israel? For a female, היית בישראל? Well, have you? אתה אוהב אוכל ישראלי? Do you like Israeli food? אתה אוהב אוכל ישראלי? Do you like Israeli food? And for a female, את אוהבת אוכל ישראלי? איפה אתה רוצה לבקר? Where do you want to visit? איפה אתה רוצה לבקר? Where do you want to visit? Or for a female, איפה את רוצה לבקר?
Must know expressions of agreeing and disagreeing with somebody, in Hebrew, of course. אני מסכים איתך לחלוטין. I couldn't agree with you more. אני מסכים איתך לחלוטין. I couldn't agree with you more. Yes, so like when you really want to emphasize your opinion is the same as somebody else's and like you feel very strongly and passionately about it, it's like, I couldn't agree more. אני מסכים איתך לחלוטין. Totally, 100%. כמובן. Of course. כמובן. Of course. So if somebody asks you something or he wants to hear your agreement about something, you'll say, oh, yes, yes, you're absolutely right, of course, כמובן. אני מניח, I guess so. אני מניח, I guess so. So the literal translation of like the verb להניח, אני מניח, it's assume. So it's kind of like saying, instead of I guess so, it's like I assume so. That's the literal translation. בדיוק התכוונתי להגיד את זה. I was just going to say that. בדיוק התכוונתי להגיד את זה. I was just going to say that. It's like you took the words out of my mouth, you know, I was just gonna say that. We're thinking the same thing, you know, great minds. כן, אתה צודק. Yes, you're right. כן, אתה צודק. Yes, you're right. This is often like if somebody gives you an advice and you know that their advice is solid. So it's like, yeah, you know, you're right. Sometimes advices are hard to follow. So sometimes you will say it like, yeah, I know, you're right. And sometimes like, yeah, I know, you know? אתה טועה. You're wrong. אתה טועה. you're wrong. So this is like very abrupt and kind of a harsh way to tell somebody that he's wrong. But I would say that's probably the most commonly used, at least in Israel. People are quite, they're out there and they speak their minds. And if they don't agree with you, they'll just tell you straight to the face, like, you're wrong. לא נראה לי. I don't think so. לא נראה לי. I don't think so. So it's like, if you're maybe 90% sure about something that it's not, or you just, somebody asks you something and you don't feel it, you just say, I don't think so. לא נראה לי, which literally translates to, I don't see so. אולי, maybe. אולי, maybe. This was like one of my favorite words when I was a little kid. Like, people would ask me things and I would just say, אולי, which just literally is maybe. אני לא מסכים. לא. I don't agree. No. אני לא מסכים. לא. I don't agree. No. So, when you say אני לא מסכים in Hebrew, it can either mean I don't agree or I won't allow it. It depends to who you're talking to. Like, I would maybe say it to my dog and I'll tell him אני לא מסכימה, and then he'll just stop doing what he's doing. But if you're not agreeing with somebody's opinion, you can also say אני לא מסכים. לא. אני מסכים. I agree. אני מסכים. I agree. I don't know, I seem to use that much less than don't agree. Maybe it's just me.
Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the dialogue study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. Today we're going to talk about 4 techniques to help you stop translating in your head and instead start thinking in your target language. This will allow you to have conversations with ease, read smoothly, and better understand native speakers. These are 4 methods to help you think in a new language. Number 1, surround yourself with your target language. This way, you'll be completely immersed in the language. Without realizing it, you'll learn pronunciation, sentence structures, grammar, and new vocabulary. Play music in the background while you're cooking, or have a radio station on while you study. Just use one of our endless podcasts available to you. These are easy to listen to in the background while doing other things. Number 2, learn through observation. This is how we all learned our native languages as kids. Words will develop their own meanings that relate better to your target language, rather than meanings that are translated directly. Number 3, speak out loud to yourself. Even if you're a little embarrassed, it forces you to listen to how you speak. It makes it much easier to spot simple grammar mistakes. Number 4, practice daily. If you practice everything for only one day, you won't retain the information you learned. The brain can realistically only focus for about 30 minutes. So studying a little every day allows you to absorb better. Follow these steps and have patience. You'll soon be able to achieve your language learning goals. Just make sure to remember these 4 methods. Sign up for your free lifetime account. No credit card required, and you'll get the best free online resources. And start learning more every day.
Hobbies, תחביבים. What are your hobbies? לשחק שחמט, to play chess. When I was in elementary school, we actually had a checkmate lesson, chess lesson. כשאני הייתי בבית הספר היסודי, היה לי שיעור שחמט. Yeah, that didn't go very well for me. Never won. לאסוף בולים, to collect stamps. לאסוף בולים. My father had a stamp collection. אבא שלי אסף בולים. And then he gave me the collection and I obviously lost it. So, לגלוש באינטרנט, to surf the net. Is that a hobby? It's more like a way of life, I'd say. You surf the net too much. אתה גולש באינטרנט יותר מדי. לשחק פוקר, to play poker. Okay, the next hobby is to play poker. And this is a common hobby in Israel. I went over to a friend of mine to play poker. הלכתי לחבר שלי לשחק פוקר. I actually never played poker. I don't even know how to do that. צילום, photography. I always wanted to take a photography class. תמיד רציתי ללכת לחוג צילום. I never did that though. Kind of lazy. Fruits, פירות. Single is פרי. So, fruits, exciting. Yeah. תפוח, apple. Green apples are my favorite. תפוחים ירוקים הם התפוחים האהובים עליי. אבטיח, watermelon. אבטיח, plural is אבטיחים. ביפן יש אבטיחים מרובעים. Japan has square watermelons. It's true. Google it. תאנה, fig. I actually love figs. I have a friend who can't eat them because she says that their insides look like worms. Sorry, that's a picture you won't be able to get out of your head. לסבתא שלי היה עץ תאנה. My grandmother had a fig tree. Mishmesh, apricot. The word is mishmesh, but Israelis usually say mishmish. קניתי בשוק קילו מישמישים. I bought 1 kilo of apricots in the market. דובדבן, cherry. This event was the cherry on my cream. האירוע הזה היה הדובדבן שבקצפת. Rooms. What can you possibly say about rooms? We're going to find out together. חדר שינה. Bedroom. Room in Hebrew is חדר, so חדר שינה is literally sleeping room. חדר השינה נמצא בקצה המסדרון. The bedroom is in the end of the hall. מטבח. Kitchen. מטבח, kitchen, my favorite part of every house. Unfortunately, המטבח שלי קטן מאוד. My kitchen is very small. You can barely move in it. שירותים. Bathroom. סליחה, איפה השירותים? Excuse me, where's the bathroom? That's an important sentence to learn in Hebrew. Memorize it. Salon. Living room. Where you have all your parties. Salon. יש לי ציור של פיקאסו בסלון. I have a Picasso painting in my living room. חדר אוכל. Dining room. חדר אוכל, which literally means food room. That's way more fun than dining room. Food room. אל תיכנס לחדר האוכל, נשברה שם צלחת. Don't go in the dining room. I broke a plate in there. Colors. צבעים. Let's start. חום. Brown. Okay, brown is a nice warm color. My eyes are brown. העיניים שלי חומות. אפור. Gray. There's this song in Hebrew. The gray today is very gray. האפור היום אפור מאוד. It's poetic. This is why I like it. אדום. Red. אני לא יכולה לסבול יין אדום. I can't stand red wine. I can't even stand the smell. That's a true story. צהוב. Yellow. חמניות הן צהובות. Sunflowers are yellow. ירוק. Green. לאמא שלי יש עיניים ירוקות. My mother has green eyes. Months of the year. חודשי השנה. ינואר. January. יום ההולדת שלי הוא בינואר. My birthday is January. מרץ. March. מזג האוויר מתחיל להתחמם במרץ. The weather starts to get warm in March, at least in Israel. יוני. June. יוני הוא החודש האחרון ללימודים. June is the last month of school. אוגוסט. August. באוגוסט, תל אביב היא כמו מרק. In August, Tel Aviv is like a soup. Okay, because it's so unbelievably hot and humid, you feel like you're swimming in soup when you walk down the street. Yeah, that's maybe not the best time to visit Israel. October. ליל כל הקדושים חל באוקטובר. Halloween is in October. Halloween obviously is not an Israeli holiday, but in Israel we do celebrate Purim, which is a Jewish holiday in which you dress up and have fun. It's a great holiday. Look it up.
שלום,
שלום.
מה שלומך?
בסדר, תודה. שלום, קוראים לי טל.
שלום, אני יעל.
נעים מאוד.
נעים מאוד גם לי. ברוך הבא. כנס בבקשה.
תודה. הנה מתנה קטנה ממני. בבקשה.
תודה רבה.
בבקשה.
אוו. סליחה.
מה?
כף הרגל שלי.
או, סליחה.
ערב טוב.
שלום. אפשר לקבל תפריט?
ודאי.
סליחה. אפשר כוס מים בבקשה?
מיד.
סליחה. אפשר להזמין?
כן.
Want to speak real Hebrew from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at HebrewPod101.com.
In this video, you'll have a chance to test them out with a quiz. First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end. Are you ready?
בחנות הספרים, אישה שואלת משהו את המוכר. איזה ספר האישה מעוניינת לראות? סלח לי, הייתי רוצה לראות את הספר שעל המדף ההוא.
איזה ספר תרצי?
זה בנושא מכוניות.
רגע אחד בבקשה. זה?
כן, בדיוק.
בבקשה.
איזה ספר האישה מעוניינת לראות? בחנות הספרים, אישה שואלת משהו את המוכר. איזה ספר האישה מעוניינת לראות? סלח לי, הייתי רוצה לראות את הספר שעל המדף ההוא.
איזה ספר תרצי?
זה בנושא מכוניות.
רגע אחד בבקשה. זה?
כן, בדיוק.
בבקשה.
איש מתקשר למרפאה. עד איזו שעה הוא צריך להגיע למרפאה? שלום, איך אפשר לעזור לך?
באיזה שעה אתם סוגרים היום?
אנחנו סוגרים בשעה 6, אבל בבקשה תגיע לפני 5:30.
בסדר. תודה.
עד איזו שעה הוא צריך להגיע למרפאה? איש מתקשר למרפאה. עד איזו שעה הוא צריך להגיע למרפאה? שלום, איך אפשר לעזור לך?
באיזה שעה אתם סוגרים היום?
אנחנו סוגרים בשעה 6, אבל בבקשה תגיע לפני 5:30.
בסדר. תודה.
ילד קורא מהיומן שלו. מהו הדבר הראשון שהילד עשה היום?
המזג אוויר היה נהדר היום. הלכתי לשחות בבריכה אחר הצהריים, והלכתי לראות סרט בערב. גם למדתי כל הבוקר. היה יום לא רע.
מהו הדבר הראשון שהילד עשה היום? ילד קורא מהיומן שלו. מהו הדבר הראשון שהילד עשה היום?
המזג אוויר היה נהדר היום. הלכתי לשחות בבריכה אחר הצהריים, והלכתי לראות סרט בערב. גם למדתי כל הבוקר. היה יום לא רע.
אישה ואיש מביטים בתצלום. באיזה תצלום הם מביטים? זה תצלום של קבוצת הכדורגל שהבן שלך בא לו? מיהו הבן שלך?
זה?
הוא הכי גבוה.
כן. הוא אפילו יותר גבוה ממני.
באיזה תצלום הם מביטים? אישה ואיש מביטים בתצלום. באיזה תצלום הם מביטים? זה תצלום של קבוצת הכדורגל שהבן שלך בא לו? מיהו הבן שלך?
זה?
הוא הכי גבוה.
כן. הוא אפילו יותר גבוה ממני.
גבר ואישה מנהלים שיחה. מתי הם הולכים לקבל עיסוי? ידיד שלי בדיוק פתח מכון עיסוי חדש.
מכון עיסוי? אני רוצה ללכת.
יש לך זמן ביום שבת?
בשבת אני עסוק. מה לגבי יום ראשון?
המקום סגור ביום ראשון. מה לגבי יום שישי?
טוב.
מתי הם הולכים לקבל עיסוי? גבר ואישה מנהלים שיחה. מתי הם הולכים לקבל עיסוי? ידיד שלי בדיוק פתח מכון עיסוי חדש.
מכון ניסוי? אני רוצה ללכת.
יש לך זמן ביום שבת?
בשבת אני עסוק. מה לגבי יום ראשון?
המקום סגור ביום ראשון. מה לגבי יום שישי?
טוב.
10 foods that will kill you faster. אטריות מנה חמה. Instant noodles, which we usually call it מנה חמה after the brand. I mean, it's not always noodles, but it's always bad for you. It's actually my sister's favorite food. אחותי ממש אוהבת מנה חמה. My sister really loves instant noodles. ארוחות קפואות, frozen meals. כשאין לי זמן, אני מחממת לי ארוחה קפואה. When I don't have time, I heat up a frozen meal. You gotta do what you gotta do. בשר מעובד, processed meat. היום כולם יודעים שבשר מעובד הוא לא בריא. Today everybody knows that processed meat is unhealthy. מרגרינה, margarine. בעוגיות האלה יש מרגרינה. These cookies have margarine in them. Yuck. משקאות אנרגיה, energy drinks. Because I think it's gross, but people do that, so... הוא אוהב לערבב משקאות אנרגיה עם אלכוהול. He likes to mix energy drinks with alcohol. Right, it's a common combination. ממתקים, candy. אסור לך לאכול ממתקים לפני ארוחת הערב. You're not allowed to eat candy before dinner. Oops. Popcorn למיקרוגל. Microwave popcorn. That's so sad because I love it. קניתי 3 חבילות של פופקורן למיקרוגל. I bought 3 packs of microwave popcorn. I don't care, it's unhealthy. Chips. Potato chips. אני אקח צ'יפס וקולה בבקשה. I'll have French fries and a Coke, please. Actually, I'm not sure what you mean by potato chips, but when Israelis say chips, we mean French fries. When talking about crisps or whatever, we call it by the brand name. We don't really have a name for that. קוטלי חזיר, bacon, though we usually say bacon. הרבה ישראלים לא אוכלים בייקון כי זה לא כשר. A lot of Israelis don't eat bacon because it's not kosher. שתייה מוגזת, סודה. הפסקתי לקנות שתייה מוגזת, זה לא בריא. I stopped buying soda. It's unhealthy. Fun fact, when Israelis say soda, we mean bubbly water. No flavor, no sugar. But if you want to drink something like Coke or Fanta or whatever, we would call it by the brand name or שתייה מוגזת. New Year's resolutions. You know, those decisions we make every year so that we can feel guilty afterwards when we don't follow through? Yeah, so let's learn 10 of these. Let's start. לאכול בריא. To eat healthy. I make this decision once a week, and then I go celebrate it with pizza. לבלות יותר זמן עם המשפחה. To spend more time with the family. This is always a good resolution. להוריד במשקל. To lose weight. We also say לרזות, which means to lose weight, but it literally means to get thinner. לרזות. להפסיק לעשן. To quit smoking. My best advice for you is don't start, but if you've started, it's never too late to stop. להתעמל בקביעות. To exercise regularly. You really should do it, and you don't have to do something boring like running. It can be something fun. לחסוך כסף. To save money. Well, when you learn Hebrew, it's a bit hard to say לחסוך כסף, but you should try it, come on. Practice. ללמוד משהו חדש. To learn something new. Like hula hooping. No, I'm kidding. לקרוא יותר. To read more. השנה החלטתי לקרוא יותר. This year, I decided to read more. We do it a lot, don't we? We're like, yeah, I'm on vacation, I'm gonna read so much, and then spend most of your time with your phone. לשתות פחות. To drink less. Yeah, I'll drink to that. ללמוד עברית. עם עבריתpod101.com. To learn Hebrew with HebrewPod101.com. I see you're doing that already, so good for you keeping up with your New Year's resolution.
10 ways to remember Hebrew words. אני לומדת על השורשים של מילים, ואיך מילים שונות קשורות אחת לשנייה. I learn about the roots of the words and how different words are related to each other. אני לומדת על השורשים של מילים, ואיך מילים שונות קשורות אחת לשנייה. I learn about the roots of the words and how different words are related to each other. In Hebrew, we have something called a root system. Words from similar fields of concept or from similar source would have a lot of basics, the same basic consonants. So for instance, the word airplane is matos, and the word flight is tisa, and the word for the verb flying is latus. So you can hear there are slight changes in the words, and sometimes it's a verb and sometimes it's a noun, but those two letters of t and s are still there, and that kind of makes it easier to remember. אני מדברת כמה שאני יכולה עם דוברי שפת אם של השפה. I speak as often as possible with native speakers. אני מדברת כמה שאני יכולה עם דוברי שפת אם של השפה. I speak as often as possible with native speakers of the language. This is very important because native speakers can, fix your little mistakes and your little bugs and maybe teach you some new words or some modern words or some slang that you might not learn otherwise, especially some rough slang. And that makes your Hebrew speaking much more natural than just studying it from a book or from a teacher. אני מנסה להשתמש במילה חדשה במשפט פשוט, כך שאני לומדת משפטים שלמים, ולא רק מילים בודדות. I try to use the new word in a simple sentence, so I learn whole phrases, not just individual words. אני מנסה להשתמש במילה חדשה במשפט פשוט, כך שאני לומדת משפט שלם ולא רק מילה בודדת. I try to use the new word in a simple sentence, so I study a whole phrase and not just an individual word. When you just learn a word, you might not be able to actually use it when you want to, when you find the need to use that word, even though you know it somewhere in the back of your head. But when you create like a situation in your mind in which you will use this word, or a phrase that's very, very useful for that specific word, then you kind of have it more handy in your memory to pull it out whenever you actually need to. אני מנסה לחשוב בעברית, כך שזה יעשה טבעי לתהליך החשיבה שלי. I try to think in Hebrew so it becomes natural to my thought process. אני מנסה לחשוב בעברית, כך שזה יעשה טבעי לתהליך החשיבה שלי. I try to think in Hebrew so it becomes a natural part of my thinking process. I remember years ago when I just studied English and I was just a little girl, all of a sudden I found myself like thinking in English and dreaming in English, and that's a really important thing to do also, because when you think it, you can speak it. If you don't think before you speak, then nothing is going to come out. It's going to come out very like, If you think about stuff, not just before you're speaking, but just in general, making conversations in your head, that would really help you use it in a very, very fluent way. אני מקשיבה לשירים ומשננת את המילים. I listen to songs and memorize the lyrics. אני מקשיבה לשירים ומשננת את המילים. I listen to songs and memorize the lyrics. This is like one of my favorite ways to actually learn new language and learn new vocabulary and new sentences. It's just a fun way, and there's something about a song that you won't forget so easily, like just speaking. it's a song, it's stuck in your head and you want to sing it. It comes like from somewhere in your soul. And when you memorize the word, which is something that I love doing, I love knowing the lyrics of songs, then it just makes you feel like so much more comfortable. And I did that with French, and I actually did that with German too. And I studied quite a bit of German just from German music. So that's kind of fun. אני מקשרת מילים חדשות עם מילים שנשמעות דומה בשפת האם שלי. I associate new words with words that sound similar in my native language. אני מקשרת מילים חדשות עם מילים שנשמעות דומה בשפת האם שלי. I associate new words with similar sounding words in my own native language. So this is also a good way to remember individual words, and to be honest, it kind of sometimes create really funny situations or very funny associations. It's really, really good, because if something makes you laugh, you're not going to forget it. If something makes you smile, you're going to remember it better than just something that you repeated over and over. אני משתמשת בחזרות, קוראת, כותבת, וחוזרת על מילים שוב ושוב. I use repetition, reading, writing, and speaking words over and over again. אני משתמשת בחזרות, קוראת, כותבת, וחוזרת על מילים שוב ושוב. I use repetition, reading, writing, and speaking words over and over again. So sometimes, you can't escape it. That's something that you just kind of have to do, You have to keep repeating stuff to memorize them, to remember them, especially when it comes to grammar. Sometimes there's no other way, and repeating is the best way to do it, I guess. אני צופה בתוכניות טלוויזיה וסרטים מישראל בשביל להיחשף לאוצר מילים יומיומי ולקצב דיבור טבעי. I watch Israeli TV shows and movies with English subtitles to expose myself to everyday vocabulary and a natural speaking flow. אני צופה בתוכניות טלוויזיה וסרטים מישראל בשביל להיחשף לאוצר מילים יומיומי ולקצב דיבור טבעי. I watch Israeli TV shows and movies to expose myself to daily vocabulary and a natural speaking flow. This is how I studied English. Like, what I studied in school hardly even helped me. I used to watch English TV all the time with Hebrew subtitles, and now I'm doing the same with a different language as well. So it's really important just watching TV, because when people are going to speak with you and they see, oh, this is not your native language and maybe you're struggling, they might dumb down the way they speak to you and speak slower in very simple words. But when you're watching TV, you're seeing how people actually speak. And then you also have the opportunity to see the translation below, and you can compare what they're saying with what you're reading and what you know already. And quite quickly you would expand your vocabulary and significantly improve the naturality of your speaking. אני מנסה לקרוא ספרים פשוטים בעברית ולתרגל קריאה ללא ניקוד בשביל לשפר את יכולות הקריאה שלי. I try to read simple books in Hebrew and practice reading without nikud to improve my reading ability. אני מנסה לקרוא ספרים פשוטים בעברית ולתרגל קריאה ללא ניקוד בשביל לשפר את יכולות הקריאה שלי. I try to read simple books in Hebrew and also practice reading without nikud to improve my reading ability. So, reading without nikud is something that you really have to practice. And to be honest, most places you will go, there won't be any nikud at all. People use nikud today for kids' books and poetry books, even if it's simple poetry, high poetry, they always use nikud no matter what. But in regular books and street signs and menus, you will never see it. As much as you can, try reading without it, and starting with nikud, slowly progressing to books without it. That's something that's really important, because otherwise you'll always find yourself struggling reading stuff around you. אני לומדת עברית עם HebrewPod101.com בשביל ללמוד משפטים מודרניים בעברית עם מילים שימושיות ליום-יום. I learn Hebrew with HebrewPod101.com to learn modern phrases and actual usable words. אני לומדת עברית עם HebrewPod101.com בשביל ללמוד משפטים מודרניים בעברית עם מילים שימושיות ליום-יום. I learn Hebrew with HebrewPod101.com to learn modern phrases and actual usable words. So yeah, Hebrew Pod gives you the opportunity to listen to how Israeli people actually speak and what they actually say, whereas if you study in a classroom or from a textbook, most often some of the words and phrases there would be kind of archaic and not something that people really use. So when you talk to people, they would know, oh yeah, like he studied in an ulpan, he studied in from a textbook. And if you sound more naturally and you speak in more modern phrases, they would think, oh yeah, like this guy has been living here, he's talking to Israeli people, he knows some stuff. Happy words, yay! Sameach, happy. Sameach, happy. מי שטוב לו ושמח, כף עמך. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. So obviously there's also a Hebrew translation to this song, and I remember it from kindergarten, and I didn't even know that it was in English originally. I guess I found out somehow, but yeah, I think they have it in every language. מי שטוב לו ושמח, כף עמך. יפהפה, beautiful. יפהפה, beautiful. הדירה שלהם פשוט יפהפייה. Their apartment is absolutely beautiful. Obviously, the word יפהפה, beautiful, comes from the word יפה, pretty. It's so pretty that you have to repeat the word twice. Is it יפה? No, it's יפהפה. לאהוב, to love. לאהוב, to love. אני אוהב שוקולד ועוגות גבינה. I love chocolate and cheesecakes. This example sentence is also from a Hebrew song for kids, and it's a very famous song about a kid who sings about all the things that he loves. And he's saying, אני אוהב שוקולד ועוגות גבינה. He loves chocolate and cheesecakes, and he loves food, and he loves his sister and his mom and his dad, but most of all, he loves himself. נהדר, great. נהדר, great. איך היה הסרט? אוי, הוא היה פשוט נהדר. How was the movie? Oh, it was simply wonderful. נהדר can be great, it can be wonderful, it can be magnificent, and it comes from the word hadar, which means glamour. נהדר, magnificent. נמרץ, lively. נמרץ, lively. יש לנו אחד במשרד, והוא כל הזמן כל כך נמרץ. We have a guy at our office, and he's always so lively. We all know that one guy, right? אדיב, kind. אדיב, kind. חשוב להיות אדיבים לזולת. It's important to be kind to one another. On the bus, if you see a pregnant lady or an older man, and they're standing up and you're sitting down, just stand up for them, let them have a seat. That's a very kind thing to do, and it's very adiv.
Great work. Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.